I'm really excited right now, guys. Guess what? Just got delivered. This is inside the box, the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette. So it's the most recent palette they just came out with, and I have not broken into the box yet. All I did was cut it open. I'm gonna do a first impressions and open it up together, like first swatch, first look into the palette, and we're also gonna do a little demo and test it out and do an overall first impressions. So I'm just gonna go ahead and open up the box. If any of you have ordered from Anastasia before, you notice that usually their packages come with like that white, like loose packing fluffy stuff that gets everywhere when you open up your package. But this one's just wrapped up in like a black paper. So that's different. I wonder why they did that. I don't mind it though, because that white stuff usually gets all over my room. So the palette itself comes in some bubble wrap, and ooh, it's like a soft matte packaging. Oh, I love that. And the gold, we got the gold detailing. Oh, I really love the feeling of this box. It feels really cool. Okay, so it's suede, just like, or velvet suede, whatever it is, just like the other Subculture and Modern Renaissance palette. So I do like that. I love that on the Anastasia palettes. I think that velvet touch is so pretty. So, oh my god, it's so gorgeous. So this is what it looks like when you open it up. You definitely have a very interesting color selection and color range. There's a lot of pops of colors, and I love that. I love when a palette is a little bit different looking. A lot of people were saying that this palette reminded them a lot of Subculture and that it was like the same thing, so why should you buy it? Me looking at it initially, I think that people might be saying that just because these first three shades and this brown shade definitely resemble like Dawn, Roxy, and I think it's Fudge. I'm just gonna open it, hang on. So this is Subculture on top, and this is the Prism palette on the bottom. So Cube, the first shade in Subculture, and Lucid in the Prism palette do have that white undertone to them, but they also have different reflex. So Cube has a pink reflex to it, and what is it? And Lucid has more of like a gold, silvery kind of reflex looking in the pan. So Dawn up top in Subculture and Unity do look a little bit similar in the pan, but Dawn is definitely a little bit more warm and a little darker, and Unity is more of like a taupey kind of shade. And then the other one that looks familiar is Roxy in Subculture, that first shade on the bottom row, and then Eden, but Roxy on top definitely has a little bit more coral in it, and Eden is definitely a little bit more pink. So they definitely do look a little bit similar, like in the pan, but I feel like these two palettes, just looking at them in general, look like they would work really well together, and that's something I do like. Like, why would I want two palettes that I can't work together like and make like fluid looks with them? So I kind of like that I can use these two palettes together and make like really awesome looks. I think that they're different enough in their own ways to still be like beautiful and buy them separately. I don't think that like if you had one you shouldn't buy the other. Just looking at them, I think you could create some awesome looks with both. So that's Eden right here. Eden kind of, I'm feeling Roxy now, like right here. And this is Roxy. So I feel like Eden feels a little bit more like Modern Renaissance. Like it doesn't swatch as smoothly as Subculture. I feel like Subculture is like the ultimate swatching palette. It swatches so awesome. So Roxy definitely has like a more like opaque swatch. So I feel like it's probably going to be a little bit more buildable of a shadow, kind of like Modern Renaissance. So we're going to see when we put it on the eyes. I'm going to swatch Pyramid. Oh, that swatched really, really nice. That is beautiful. I love that. Oh my god, that's super pretty. I was really excited about this shade Throne. It's almost like an emerald, but when you look at it in the pan, it almost has this kind of purpley reflex to it. Yeah, these shadows definitely feel a little bit more like Modern Renaissance style. Oh, that is good. That is beautiful. Holy, that is so pretty. Oh my god. That is really pretty. I need that on my face right now. I want to swatch Osiris, which is like this purpley shade. Oh my god, this is really pretty too. Some of these shades in here are really awesome and unique. Let's do this one. I don't know how well you guys can tell on camera, but this one definitely has a little bit of blue purple, and it has like a pink reflect in it, which is really pretty. I'm gonna swatch Dimension. It's almost like a taupey purple, silver, if that makes any sense. So let's just give this one a swatch. Oh, that is nice. It's almost like a, I don't even know, like a periwinkle or something. These are really cool shades. I haven't watched many reviews on this palette yet, but I have read like in an Instagram post, I forget whose post it was, but they said that Lucid, they didn't think it was that pigmented, so I'm gonna try Lucid. It looks really pigmented on my finger. It's almost like a straight silver, actually. I think it's super pigmented. I didn't even pick that much up. I'm gonna add more. There's like a little touch. I think it's really pigmented. It's definitely pulling like a silver and gold at the same time, if that's even possible. It's like a silver base with gold reflex, which is really unique actually. You don't see that a lot. All right, and I'm running out of space, so I'm just gonna swatch one more. I'm gonna do Parallel, and I'm gonna compare it to Fudge in the subculture because I'm sure people are a little bit curious because they're both browns. So let's see, this is Parallel. A really awkward spot to swatch on because my bone is like right there. Is Fudge. They are definitely pretty similar. I think that Parallel is definitely a little bit more cool, almost neutral, and Fudge pulls a little bit more warm. Okay, so I think I have an idea of the look I want to go for, so I'm going to start with Unity, which is the shade right here, and pick it up on a Sigma E35 blending brush. And I'm going to start running that through the crease. The shade is definitely very close to like my eye base, so I feel like it doesn't show up that well, but I feel like it will really help with transitioning my colors because it's just like a very light wash of color. I'm going to be using that yellow in my crease as well, so I feel like it will really help transition with that because yellow, I love working with yellow, but I feel like it's hard to find a transition shade for yellow, so I feel like this is actually a really good shade for this palette. And as I'm using this shade, comparing it to, what is it, to Dawn, it definitely is behaving more like the Anastasia Mono Renaissance palette. It's not picking up like the most serious amount of pigment, like you can build up this shadow a little bit. So hopefully the rest of them are like this because I feel like people will be more happy to work with a shadow like this than Subculture. I mean, I love Subculture. It's one of my favorite palettes right now, but I feel like it can be hard to work with if you don't like have the patience to like play with it. Okay, so same brush, I'm gonna dip into Sphere, the yellow shade. It's definitely not as intimidating as it looks in the pan. It kind of blends out a little bit more sheer than that like bright yellow. It's definitely more gentle looking on the eyes than it does look in the pan. So far so good with the blending, not seeing any issues or trouble. I feel like I want to use Osiris like in the outer corner, but I feel like I need like one more like matte transition to kind of like balance it out just so it's not like stark shimmer. I'm trying to think of what I could use. I would use the black, but I don't know if I want to go like that dark. So for the look I'm going for in my head, I guess I'm gonna have to use the black and go into that, but I guess it's a good time to test out to see if this black like is workable, if it's like overly pigmented, or I can build it up. So I'm just gonna dip in a little bit because I don't want this look to be too dark. So I'm just gonna keep this basically in the outer corner and just fade it a little bit into the crease right here, but just mainly on the outer edge, because I just want a blend for when I use Osiris, so it's just not straight shimmer. And this black is very easy to blend. It's a very blendable black. It almost is coming off a little bluish when I blend it out, but I think that's because I have the yellow underneath. They're kind of blending together. So I think it will depend what shadows you have underneath it. I did just try and go in on this side with the black, and I forgot to tap off the excess on my brush, and I did get fallout. So, but if you guys compare each side, I did tap off the excess on this side and I got no fallout. So just take note of that. Definitely tap off the excess. All right, so before we go on, I do want to cut the crease a little bit. So I'm taking a little bit of Tarte Shape Tape and I'm just going to cut the crease. Okay, so now I can go ahead and take Osiris, and I'm gonna try it dry first. Yeah, I'm just testing it on my hand dry. I definitely don't think it's meant to be used dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and wet my brush with a little bit of setting spray, and I'm gonna use it wet. It would probably be even prettier, like packed with your finger all over the lid, but the look I'm going for is a little bit more detailed, so I kind of have to use a brush. And I am getting a little bit of fallout with this shade as well, which isn't a bad thing. Like, I usually do my eyes first. I don't know why I did my base first today, but that was my own fault. Now I want to take Dimension and pack that next to it. That's really pretty. I love this shade. That's really, really pretty. And then for the inner corner, I'm trying to use as many shadows as I can. I'm going to use Lucid and pack that in the inner corner. And I did use my brush wet for all 3 of these shades. I think they're definitely best used wet or packed on with your finger. And then for a little bit of an extra pop, I'm going to take the Urban Decay Heavy Metals Liquid Glitter Liner in Glam Rock. It's the silver one, and I'm just going to redefine the cut in the crease. This, I think it will complement the tones in this look. I added a little bit too much, but it's cool. There's never too much glitter, right? Okay, so I just cleaned up the under eye. I think I'm gonna add just like a thin liner on top. I don't think I'm gonna wing it out, but I definitely want to incorporate some of the yellows on my lower lash line, so I think I'm gonna pop the yellow like in my waterline. So when I put my lashes on, the lash band won't be so noticeable. Okay, and then to make the yellow pop on the lower lash line, I'm taking Urban Decay Waterline Pencil in Walk of Shame, and I'm just going to line my lash line. And then with a flat definer brush like this one, I'm just going to dip right into Sphere and pack that on top of the liner. And now I'm pretty content with the way that's looking, so I'm just going to pop on some lashes. I believe these ones are from eBay. I love getting my lashes on eBay, so if I can find this style, I will link them in the description box. And then to finish off the look, I'm just going to use a little bit of this Fenty Beauty highlighter in Hustle It Baby and Mean Money. And for my lip, I'm going to use an old favorite. I'm going to use this lipstick by Bite Beauty in the shade Molasses. And this is the final look. I hope you guys liked it. I'm pretty pleased with how it came out. I think it's pretty cool, other than me adding a little bit too much glitter on this side, but I like it. I really love the colors. I think it's something different. It's a little bit different of tones than I usually do. I usually do something more warmer, but this is leaning a little bit more cool, but I still really love it. I think it's a super cool look. I love the yellow. And overall, the palette was super easy to use. I think these shadows are definitely a little bit more blendable than the Subculture palette. I think it's a little bit more easier to use, but I love both palettes equally. I think these shimmers are freaking awesome and unique. So I hope you guys enjoyed this look and enjoyed the demo on the palette. And if you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up before you leave and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!